Hey, you're keeping company with Connor, and you're listening to another Town Square Spotlight. I am so excited about this one. You know him from TV shows like Taxi and Who's the Boss, movies like Angels in the Outfield and Don Jon, Broadway musicals like The Producers and Honeymoon in Vegas. We're talking about his more musical side today with his upcoming performances and latest single. So excited to have him on. Hollywood icon, Tony Danza. Tony, how are you?
I'm so great after that introduction. It's unbelievable.
Hey, you're the one that lived it. You're the one that did all of it. It's up in the Hudson Valley, Town Square. You're out of the city, right? So, yeah, we're like an hour and a half north of you.
I was in Cooperstown this weekend.
Were you? Oh, my God, that's awesome. What were you doing in Cooperstown?
Little League World Series.
Oh, there you go.
My grandson was playing for the Batters.
Oh, that's amazing.
And they did well. They did really well. So beautiful up there.
Oh, Cooperstown is the best. And besides, hey, you got your baseball background as well. Angels in the Outfield. I don't know how many times I saw that when I was a kid.
Well,
so
wait a minute, Connor. You won't believe this. This happened. So the last game Saturday night, I'm sitting in the bleachers. All of a sudden, we're playing a team from Jersey. All of a sudden, about 10 or 12 of the parents come out of the bleachers and stand on the field. And I'm thinking, what the hell are they doing? All of a sudden, they break into the you gotta believe, the Angels in the Outfield wave. They start doing that you gotta believe wave at me. And then I come out and I started doing it. Then the whole crowd started doing it. I wish I had a video. It was unbelievable.
That is amazing. Did they do that because they knew you were there, or like, why did that start?
They saw me there. And they came out and did that because I was there. It was unbelievable. I felt really very honored, by the way, and it was so much fun. My grandson got a kick out of it too.
I'm sure. How many times has your grandson seen that movie now?
Oh no, he's a big fan of that movie. Yeah, he's a big fan of that movie.
Good.
He likes that one. Man, that movie. I'm telling you, it has so many great messages. It's unbelievable. It's like you even get an anti-smoking message in there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's wild.
You really get it all, and it's a stacked cast, and it's just. And when I'm little enjoying it, I'm just getting it all for the story. But when I watch it when I'm a little bit older, I'm like, oh my God, this is packed with a lot. This is amazing. Holy cow!
He really was. What was his name? Deere was the director. He was terrific too. Anyway,
we should get into the music, of course.
Oh, it's great. You know what? I just want to add. I have to just, if I may. I'm on a show on Stars, and now it's on Prime. It's called Raising Canaan.
Yes,
and it's terrific. And I actually play a bad guy, so people should check it out. It's crazy, but it's very different. It's very different from Who's the Boss. Believe me.
I'm sure, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Actually, what is that like going against type? Because you have played a lot of sweet, charismatic characters. So what's that like to go against type for you?
The most fun. It's just the most fun to play. It just is really, it's like I tell you something. It's like when you're a kid and you're pretending. That's what it feels like. By the way, the show is magnificent. It's wonderful writing, wonderful acting. It's shot like a movie. I mean, if it was on HBO, I think it'd be the show everybody is talking about. It's that good. And not just because I'm in it, but I really think, somehow this crime show is a family show.
Mm.
It's really intricate and really, and it's not what you expect. It really isn't.
No. Well, hey, we'll have to make sure that we get everybody here in the Hudson Valley talking about it and watching it. I'm excited for that. But of course, the reason we got you on here today, you have a couple of awesome performances coming up. You're doing your Standards and Stories performances in Atlantic City later in August. And you got Sinatra and Stories. You're going to do a residency at Cafe Carlyle September 10th through 21st. That's incredible, man. Could you tell us what would be the difference between the Standards and Stories and the Sinatra and Stories, and what can fans expect out of those kind of shows?
Okay, well, the Standards and Stories are pretty self-explanatory. It's a bunch of stories, both personal and professional, and then the American Songbook, the standards that I grew up on, and then I tap dance and I play the ukulele, which is another thing I've taken up, which is a lot of fun. And what I try to do is I try to give it's a show. It's not just you're not coming just to listen to me sing. You're not coming to listen to me just listen see me dance. It's of a piece. And the Sinatra Stories is, I somehow, incredibly, got to be around him. My mother was the biggest Sinatra fan in the world. And then when I got to Hollywood, he was still running around, and somehow I end up being around him and with him. I mean, when you go to Frank Sinatra's house for dinner, do you know whose music is playing? Frank Sinatra's. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I actually was around, and then he did Who's the Boss. He appeared on the show. So I have this relationship with him that I'm going to talk about. And plus, the music is fabulous. We're just really trying to not duplicate what he did, but get as close as we can. Again, you get some laughs, you'll get some information, and you'll get some great music.
That's terrific, and it's great to be able to honor such an icon such as himself. But hey, you got an incredible voice yourself, and the way that you're able to bring your own spin to it, fantastic. And one of the ways that you're doing that and bringing the style and genre of, the lounge music, the crooners alive, you actually got a new single about to come out August 9th with Peterson Cotty, One Too Many. I just listened to that right before we got on the mic. It's fantastic. Can you tell a little bit about that?
It's pretty good, Cotty. Yeah, well, Peter and I know him since he's 18. He's a magnificent piano player and songwriter. And so we fool around together. We get together. We both have a piano. He comes to my place, or I go to his place, and we, little family things. I bring the ukulele, and we do 5'2" is our head, he says. So we were fooling around thinking about writing an act, an older guy and a younger guy, like they used to do.
Yeah.
And he says, all right. And we wrote this act. And then he says, I wrote a song that we could use either as a closer or an opener. And I said, what is the name of the song? He says, One Too Many. And we started, what happened was he was playing the Carlyle. And I went to see him. I'm sitting at the bar, and out of the blue, he calls me up. I said, okay, I'll show you. I got up, and luckily I remembered it. But the people went crazy. There was these two. It's a tight space. The Cafe Carlyle, right? So there's a table just to the left of the stage, right in front, and there were two women sitting there, and they were laughing so hard that at one point I looked down and her legs were up in the air. That's how crazy it was, So people really like it. It's sort of an earworm, and it does harken back to that, when they used to do music like that, two guys having a good time.
Absolutely. I totally got that as I'm listening to it. It was like, this song's hilarious. This is so much fun. I can only imagine what it's like to be able to play that song in front of a crowd and get that reaction and get some woman's legs up in the air because she's laughing too hard. And that's amazing,
she was
Tony.
laughing so hard that, I'm not kidding you. I looked down and she was laughing so hard her feet were up. It was crazy. I mean, it's been great, And what I did was I've been sending it around, and all my friends have been like, wow, it's pretty good. So I'm excited about it. And Peter's, I'm telling you, anytime you get to work with somebody like Sinatra, forget about it. He's really something.
Absolutely. And of course, we have the track. You can listen to it in the description of this episode. You can hear it on our Town Square radio station app and website. We got it all. Plus, we got all the links for Standard and Stories, Sinatra and Stories, so much more. You can check out the new show that Tony's in. We got all of that. Tony, I know I got to let you go. You're really busy this morning, but this has been a real honor to speak with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And hello to everybody out there.